Alright lads, today we're going to be talking about values, the importance of them, how they can pull you out of a rut if you're feeling lost, give you a clear path, how it's helped me personally, and then at the end I'll give you some actionable steps that can immediately transform your life as it did mine. But here's a word of warning before the video starts. There are no flashy cuts, no captions, it's just me talking in front of the camera with a slideshow. But if you clicked on this video, you're probably the type of person that can watch this anyway, so it's all good. Here's my story, how I use values to turn my life around. I was always on and off with business, uni, and my goals. Go for a bit, for a couple weeks, be locked in, and then something would happen. I'd go away for a couple days, uni assignment, and then I'd just stop. I'd essentially give up on it. So this made me question what I really wanted. So I had a period of deep reflection, started thinking about what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. And this led me to some books that introduced the concept of values and why they're important. Helped me realize what's most important to me, and that helped me create a clear picture of my dream life, and that helped me define my priorities, which I'll make another video of potentially. So what are values? Well, we've all got an idea of what values are. We think we know what ours are, but normally if you ask someone, they take a second to think about it and they're not really sure. It's not something they've thought of before. So the dictionary definition is the beliefs that people have, especially about what is right and wrong and what is most important in life, that control their behavior. Now that bit's important, that control their behavior, because it does, and we'll get into that in a minute. So some examples of freedom, love, passion, adventure, money, growth, learning, things of this nature. So what a value is, it's essentially the emotional states that are most important to you. But what most people don't realize is that there are actually two types of values. There are means values and there are ends values. So what's the difference? So you might say you want love, money, family, freedom. Love and freedom are the emotional states that you desire. These are your ends values. Now how you get those might be through values such as money and family. So if you have money, you can travel the world, go where you want. If you have family or a partner, you might have love. So I forgot to mention that in this case, family and money would be your means values. So this is what you need to get to your ends values. So a lot of people don't know what means and ends values are. So this causes them to get mixed up and they never find what they truly want and they just stay lost, they're not sure. Ends values are the ones that will truly fulfill you and bring you sort of inner peace, and they'll give you that drive to know what you want and how to get it. I like this quote, I'm sure you've heard it before. He who has a strong enough why can bear almost any how. So values give you your why, particularly ends values. And then means values show you how you can achieve your ends values. So think of the ends values as the goal. The means values is the route that you take to get there. Values give you intrinsic motivation. So a lot of people will go on the entrepreneurship journey just thinking, I want money, I want this watch, I want this car, whatever. And this is why they can't stick to it unless they're a highly disciplined person. But for most people, your willpower just runs out. When you figure out your ends values, it gives you that intrinsic motivation of what you truly want. And once you have that intrinsic motivation, it's just endless. And every decision you make flows from those values. So you actually find work easy, or work, business, whatever it is, you find it easy because you know that it's propelling you towards those end values. Knowing your values and thinking about your values can also actually improve your gratitude for the present. So a trap that a lot of people get stuck in is they just constantly thinking about the future and they think, I'll only be happy if I get this, if I get this car, if I get a girlfriend, whatever. So how can you use values to be more grateful for what you have right now? So let's say, for example, you value freedom. A lot of people might say, I won't have freedom till I can quit my 9 to 5, or until I can drop out of uni or college, or I need a certain amount of money so I can go traveling, for example. But what you can do is you can realize that you have freedom right now. Anytime that you make a decision on your own conviction, anytime you live by your own choices, you're practicing freedom. So what a good idea is to find your values and write down how you can get them now and make it easy as possible and make it dependent on you, not reliant on other things. So I'll explain this little exercise, some action steps, then I highly recommend you pause the video and do this right now because this is a very powerful exercise for a lot of people. Is you write down the values that are most important to you right now. So aim for 8 to 12, but don't rank them or anything, just blurt them out, just write them down. Then once you've done that, rewrite them. This time you rank them. So 1 to 12, most important to least important. Now it's important to remember that the values that you rank last are still very important to you. Think about it. There are hundreds or thousands of values that you could have picked from. All the values in the world. And you just picked 8 to 12, and that's it. So even your 12th one out of the hundreds and thousands of values that you could have picked is still clearly very important to you. So it's important to remember that. So what you do next, you write down your dream life. Just a short paragraph briefly describing what you have, who's in your life, who are you with, what are you doing. Whatever your dream life is, whatever that means to you, just write that down, write a short paragraph. What are the values that you need to become this dream person? Because clearly they have different values to what you have now. So consider if you want to be hyper successful, net worth of $50 million, for example, $100 million, $1 billion. What values does that person have that you don't? It might be discipline, it might be relentlessness, it might be ambition. If you want that dream life in Thailand, it's freedom. Maybe you rank freedom a little bit higher. Now, technically, these could be exactly the same as what you already wrote. But for most people, 99.9%, it's going to be a bit different. You might add some values, you might take some away, you might reorder some. So what values do you need to adopt to become this dream person and gain your dream life? Same thing, write down 8 to 12, just blurt them out on a piece of paper. Then once you've done that, rewrite them and rank them. Most important to least important. These are your true values. These are the ones that you need to adopt every single day. You need to condition your brain to use these values to guide every single decision you make. And you basically need to become that person. Now let's quickly talk about how you do this. How do you condition your brain? So now you have your values. Like I said, you have to condition your brain, and this will be your personal compass. This will guide every decision you make and every action that you do, who you hang out with, and this can lead you towards your dream life. This can be a huge propellant, a huge boost on your path towards your dream life, self-development, whatever it is. Now, you have your list of your true values. Look at these every single morning, every morning. Even before bed is even better, twice a day, but at least every single morning. Promise to yourself that everything you do will align with these values. Make this decision in the morning, every day, that this is who you are now, today. It's not who you're going to become, this is who you are. Because the truth is, you can be whoever you want to be, whenever you want to be. A lot of people don't realize that. So just make that decision. This is who you are. These are the values you do. End of story. Now, every decision you make throughout the day, just think about these values. Is this a decision that Dream Me would make? Does this align with these values? If it's not, then don't do it. Simply don't do it. If your friends ask you to go to the club that night, think about it. Does this align with my values? Is this who I want to be? Is this who I am? Probably not, if you want to achieve your goals. Just say no. If your friends give you shit about it, they're shit friends, they'll probably get over it soon enough. If they're good friends, they'll understand. Now, having strong values and a deep and clear understanding of it will give you that vision of what you want to be. Then you can think of the means, values, and how you get there and decide what steps you want to take to get there. Now, this can be a very powerful tool for breaking bad habits. Like I said, every decision you make, does this align with my values? Does this align with my goals? If you catch yourself partaking in a bad habit, just ask yourself, does this align with my values? Say no, just stop doing it immediately. Now this will get easier because the more and more you condition yourself to adopt these values, the more and more you'll just become that person. You'll become the person that doesn't scroll on Instagram for hours. You'll become the person that doesn't binge out on junk food at 3 a.m. Pretty soon, you won't even want to do it. You'll just be that person, that hyper successful person that sits down and works for 6-7 hours straight, does 12-hour days of work. So that's about it. You find your dream state, you find the values you need to achieve that dream state, and you adopt those values. You condition your brain every day to use these values, and pretty soon you'll become that person, and that will set you on the right path to achieve what you want. Thanks for watching.